Let's give my main man, Slick Rick, man, a round of applause. We got the inevitable D-Town, D-City, D-Ville, Baltimore, stand up, Rick Glaser. Let's get a round of applause. Rick, how you doing, sir?
Not bad. Thanks for having me on the show today, Coach.
Yeah, man, you kept your word, man. You said that, hey, after we did the show Friday, you said let's let the weekend go by until let's give it some time to where we're going to actually have, some more news that's going to happen, and then you'll come back on a Monday. You kept your word. I really appreciate that because there's a whole lot don't happen.
Well, I always will keep my word. That's one thing about me. Whether people don't like me, there's naysayers out there. I always keep my word. So here I am.
All right, for sure. Hold on. This guy said he said the more they mad at Canelo for not fighting Benavidez, but not at Al for all of the bad business. PBC Eddie Hearn making plays. All right, shout out to Carlos. All right, Rick. You said an announcement was going to happen a couple of weeks ago when Canelo went to Mexico, and he didn't say what some of the things that you thought were going to be said or whatever. People came after you. They attacked you. There was mainstream media outlets attacking you. Booger Ray Leonard was laughing. Stephen Espinosa was laughing. The Mike Carpenter, the Raphaels, not Mike Carpenters, but these other guys who've been attacking you. Even other big YouTube channels were attacking you. Now everything that you said was going to happen has happened. I noticed that you can hear a catfish piss underwater. Have you heard anything from those guys?
No. I've had quite a few people call me up and congratulate me and apologize to me. But basically, what happened was, in truth, they didn't do shit. What happened was on that day was I had information that he was leaving PBC, okay, and he was gonna announce it. What happened was I put the tweet out. After I put the tweet out, okay, what's his name? PBC begged for an extension. He gave him 10 days to come up with the $35 million in escrow. But when I put the tweet out, I didn't realize that. I hadn't heard that from my guy. So in the meantime I got caught between a rock and a hard place. The guy told me, my info said, listen, they're not going to come up with the $35 million. It's just a 10-day stay of execution is what it basically amounted to be. I says, okay, we'll just wait it out. And that's what happened. So everything happened that I said was going to happen. It just didn't happen in that exact moment when we thought it was going to happen. Okay, cool. So you was right about that. As it relates to Canelo, he's leaving. Well, he's leaving. I'm hearing he's going to fight Jaime Munguia next. I don't know who's going to fight after that. And I'm hearing he's going to make that fight over at DAZN in Matchroom. What have you heard about that? Yeah, it's basically what it is. It's going to be involved with Golden Boy because they have Canelo. They have Munguia. And it's going to be, it's going to be a DAZN show, period. There won't be any Amazon involvement. There won't be any question about the money, the validity of the money, like there was at PBC. And, they'll carry on like business is supposed to be conducted, which they couldn't do at PBC for Canelo. Rick, I'm going to be honest with you, fam. It's very, very difficult for me to, it's just hard for me to grasp around my brain that the PBC didn't have any money. And I do understand that the network, Showtime, was footing the bill on their production and their fights, so that was able to mask a lot of things. But it seemed like since Showtime has been shut down, or Showtime Boxing has been shut down by Paramount Global, it seems that a whole lot of shit has happened, transpired. We heard news of the Amazon Prime deal, but yet there's no fights until March the 30th, which is pretty much the last day of the first quarter. I'm hearing Super Matthias leaves, gets signed to Matchroom. Fighters still not fighting, and we still got guys waving the banner. Now I get it. I know that you hate the PBC. You have never denied that. You never denied that you didn't hate PBC, Al Haymon, for whatever the reason may be. But I don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You were telling the truth on this particular. You was telling the truth about this, and that's just the reality of the situation. I also told the truth when I said a year before 9 months before Showtime announced they were going out of boxing. I announced they were going to go out of boxing in the fourth quarter, and October was the fourth quarter. Then I announced that they weren't going, and then I announced it on September 22nd that they were actually going out of business, and it was just a couple of days that I would know if they were going to stay in the pay-per-view business at all, and they decided not to within a couple of days, and I reported on that. So I'm batting 100% here.
So Rick, I know you. So is it safe to say that you're feeling yourself right now?
I'm what?
Feeling yourself. That's a slang for saying that, hey, you're feeling yourself. Right now you feel real good.
I didn't feel bad when I was getting all kinds of insulting names, but I feel better that now that I'm vindicated. Yes, I do. Absolutely.
All right.
I'm not going to hide that fact. I mean, it's a natural reaction, wouldn't it be?
Yeah. Is there a reason why the mainstream media guys who are very, very close to PBC, like Dan Raphael? I know Dan Raphael is as close to the PBC. You're going to get him. The Ellie Setbacks, the other mainstream guys on Twitter and stuff. Is there a reason why? How come you had this information and they didn't? Why is that?
Well, I also had the information when Dan Raphael didn't get his contract renewed at ESPN. When he was their senior boxing writer, I also had that 6 months before the contract ended, and he was dismissed. So how do I know all these things?
Yeah, how do you know all these things?
I talked to 30 to 40 boxing executives and boxing attorneys Monday through Thursday. Friday, very little. Most of those guys are playing golf or on their way home or doing something besides office work. They're at the fights, they're at a weigh-in. But, I talk to 30, 40 executives and attorneys every day, and I know what's going on in the world of boxing. It's my business to know. And I have more access to executives and attorneys than the writers do, and I have a bigger reach because I'm worldwide.
Wow, that's amazing. So you have access. But you know what now, Rick? I'm going to be honest with you. I think that the people on boxing Twitter and YouTube, I think they know a lot more about the business of boxing than you do. So if I want to get information, I will probably get it from boxing Twitter, meaning Booger Ray Leonard and stuff like that. And the people on YouTube more so than you, because I think they know more about the business of boxing than you do. What say you about that?
Well, you can go broke with them.
Hey, okay, all right. Listen. So again, I don't want to make this about Al Haymon and Floyd Mayweather, because Floyd Mayweather did say that he makes $300 million a year, which is $3.6 billion. No, he makes $300 million a month.
$300 million a month. Yeah.
Yeah, $300 million a month, which is $3.6 billion a year. He has investments in skyscrapers in New York, Dubai. He's wearing $20 million Rolexes. So it seemed like that. Since the PBC has been so successful, Floyd is making so much money, him and Al Haymon, because we know it's a very, very successful company, making a whole lot of money. Now things have changed now that the white man, Showtime has removed themselves from the equation, so they're going to have to be a little bit more creative with coming up with funds. How are they going to come up with funds in order to put on, be a big production pay-per-views? Like, let's say Canelo won $35 million guaranteed, but that's gone. Will Tank Davis be the next guy they put that $35 million behind, since he is being built as the face of boxing as well?
They don't have the $35 million to put behind anything. That's the problem. It's all hocus pocus malocus. The game's over. This is what people aren't realizing about PBC. Let's talk about reality. Reality is the following. You can't go by 2015, the first year, okay, in PBC, because they didn't have the whole year. They started in late March, okay, or sometime in March of 2015. 2016, they did 44 shows. You know how many shows they did last year? 14. Okay, every year it's gone downhill. You can't go by 2020 because of the fact that they lost so much time because of the COVID. I get that. But you look at 2022 and 2023 and 2019 and 18, and 17, it's gone downhill every year. It's a sinking footprint, okay? And the whole thing is sinking, and they're going out of business. People aren't recognizing that. This year they're projected to do 8 shows this year. Could they get it? Could they get 9 or 10 in? Yeah, but it's less than last year's 14. And last year they had backing from Showtime. They got nothing from Amazon. They're paying for their own production costs. It's a horrible deal. Haymon made a horrible deal because he was desperate, number one. And number two is he figured he'd use the Amazon name, the cliche of the great Amazon name, to raise funds, to raise money from investors. And he couldn't raise the money because of the outstanding indebtedness of $900 million that he never made a payment on to Waddell Reed.
Waddell Reed, yeah.
Yeah, so basically everything he's doing is fucked up, you know? So right now he's on fuck control, is what I call fuck control. He's fucked and he's trying to quell a riot, but he's been missing in action since December 18th. He's left everything behind to a couple guys, a couple business executives over there at the PBC and the TGB, and they're left to fend for themselves, basically speaking. So we'll see what happens if he reemerges. But I think this is the end is near for PBC. I just don't see it going on too much. You know, they get through the end of the year. Hey, they might get through the end of the year, but you won't see them put out a schedule for 25 as PBC. Now there could be another corporation with somebody else, but not PBC as we know it now.
All right, Rick, I have two questions for this. Now, the first one is this here. How do you know that Al Haymon hasn't been seen since December? When we have it, the public hasn't seen him, you know, in boxing, like at boxing events and pictures since 2015.
First of all, he goes to a certain restaurant quite often in Cleveland, and he hasn't been at that restaurant since Thursday, December 14th. Okay, and he's disappeared since Monday, December 18th, 2 days after the Showtime show, and it's over. You know, I think his ego did not allow him to be a failure, and this is his way of scampering off and not having to face the critics and the pundits and everybody else and the people he owes money to, which is plenty. And I think this is his ego, his closet ego, did not allow him to be a failure, and he's just can't face everybody.
So Rick, how do you know he hasn't been seen since? Like, you know, do you have somebody with the feds watching him, or you got some spies in the camp? Well, how do you know that he hasn't been seen since December?
I have people that give me information everywhere. I mean, you'd be shocked, and people have not seen him and talked to him. Everything. There's various attorneys that have tried to get him on the phone that he normally talked to that represents fighters, and they haven't been able to get a hold of him. And nor has he returned their phone. They have his cell number, and he has not returned their calls.
Has Booger Ray Leonard?
No, he is not. Okay, he has not talked to him. If he says so, he's a liar. He is cleaning his messages out on his cell phone because sometimes the cell phone is jammed up and you can't leave a message. Then all of a sudden people are able to leave messages. So he's alive cleaning out his messages on his cell phone. But I don't know other than that. Nobody knows where he is. They say his mother passed away, but I never saw anything on Google that his mother passed away when I looked.
Yeah.
His mother is 103.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, whether he was down and out because she passed away or she's ill, that's one thing. But you know what? He's got business to attend to if he really wanted to attend to it, and he's not attending to it.
And it just seems very strange. Like, okay, so again, as I said before, you know, who are the big stars that's over there at PBC? Canelo is gone. Bud Crawford, I got a text from him today.
He's a free agent.
Yeah, I got a text from him today. He's a free agent.
Right.
And I spoke to Bomac today as well. So he's a free agent. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know any information on that. I don't, you know. So
I changed Bomac's name. He's now the great Bomac.
Yeah, he told me he spoke to you.
Oh yeah.
He told me he spoke to you. Yeah, but anyway, so like okay, someone like a Tank Davis, he's a big star. His last fight he did 1.2 million pay-per-view buys. Do you if he fights and I know Booger Ray Leonard has been saying Tank is the one that carried that card and he did this and did that. So do you foresee, you know, in June. The Tank is reported to be fighting in June. Again, I don't know. I won't believe anything until I physically see them in the ring, you know, but I don't know yet because of so much instability that I've been hearing from everybody. Not just Rick Glaser, but I've been hearing some similar things from 10 different people outside of Rick Glaser. What about Tank? You know, he's seeing Canelo getting $35 million guaranteed. If they're saying he's the face of boxing, wouldn't he want some big money as well?
Well, they can control him. They can't control Canelo. And he doesn't have independent representation. He's got Booger Ray around him and Floyd and all that. So that's not independent representation. So I'm sure he's not looking for the money up front, you know, in an escrow account. He probably doesn't have even heard of the word escrow. So, you know, that's just the way it is. Some people have and some people haven't. And, you know, it is what it is. So basically speaking, what I'm telling you is I don't see any problems. I think they'll pull off a Tank fight. But you know what? Tank's not that draw people think he is. He in the prior fight when he fought before Ryan Garcia, he did 1.2 million homes. But then the fight before that, 3 months earlier, he did 61,000 against Jose Luis Garcia. So he's not the draw people think he is. He's a good draw, but he's not the draw. He's not the face of boxing. That I'll tell you.
Well, as I said before, if he's the face of boxing and that's the way they're promoting it,
we're in trouble.
No, it's not even that. It's not even we're in trouble. My thing is, see, I like to take their words and throw it back at them. If you're telling me he's the face of boxing, this is what Booger Ray Leonard is saying. This is what Stephen Espinosa and all of these guys on that side of the fence are saying. Fine. We just saw one guy that you say that's not the face of boxing anymore, getting $35 million guaranteed from the same company that you're signed with. He just walked away, but yet you're there and you can't even get nowhere near that guarantee. So something is wrong with that. With that, you know, it's either a lie and propaganda, you know, or which probably that's what it is. So I mean, that's just reality to the situation. What type of ramifications does this have with Canelo going to the zone, and what does that leave Crawford? Because they haven't told me anything. Well,
Crawford's just going to do what he wants to do. Whoever comes up with the most amount of money for him, whether it's the fight Tim Tszyu or it's the fight Conor Ben or whoever who's got the most amount of money, that's where he's going to go. He's not going to sign any long-term deals with anybody. He doesn't have to.
Right.
So, you know, hopefully he'll get a Canelo fight. I don't know if he'll get a Canelo fight this year.
Yeah, he ain't gonna get that this year.
I don't think he's going to get that this year, but you know, we'll see. You know, I think good old Ernest is going to fight about 3 more times and pack it in undefeated. Looks like he's going to be call it a day and just be done with the game. Walk away with the riches. He's never lived high off the hog. He doesn't have any bad habits, and he's going to be a great example of what a professional fighter is all about.
So my thing is this. What about David Benavidez? David Benavidez, I saw his father on the Boxing Boys. Shout out to Nestor Gills of the Boxing Boys. He did a great interview. But I saw his father on the Boxing Boys. He said that they are very happy with the PBC. He foresees that David will spend the rest, retire at the PBC and stuff like that. And what I don't understand, Rick, is this. A lot of people feel.
Wait. His career's going to go longer than the PBC. So,
yeah.
So
yeah.
So I don't think that's true.
Yeah. So what I don't understand is this. My sole mission in life is to become undisputed in this weight division. There's one fighter that has all of the belts, and he came to this company, the same side of the street that I'm on, and I just want to fight this guy to become undisputed. My team was not able to deliver me this fight. My question is, and I get it, Canelo can choose and fight who he wants to fight, but it seems to me that David Benavidez is happy with the way things are going in his career, and that's why I'm not really out yelling and screaming no. Go ahead.
That's why I said that neither guy wanted to fight each other. Mm. Remember didn't I say that on Friday?
Yeah.
Neither guy wanted to fight each other, and the more they talk, the more David doesn't talk. You know, the more you realize it. Everybody realizes it. Neither guy wanted to fight each other, so we just need to move on.
All right, so
wait, let's go back to my victory lap. I like that more.
Hey, no, Rick, we got so we gonna get to the victory lap. I know right now. You know, I mean, I know right now you feeling. Go ahead.
For some of you guys that never heard me before or don't know me that well, my wife is a lovely, lovely person, and my wife says, Rick, 50% of people hate you and 50% love you. 50% want to kiss you on both cheeks, and 50% the other 50% want to put two behind your ear.
Two behind your ear, yeah. Told me that, yeah.
So I get it, everybody. I actually like to be hated. It's a lot of fun. As long as people I like don't hate me, I'm good.
Yeah. It is fun being hated, especially when you're hated by a powerless group of people. So like this is like Rick. This is just came out of nowhere, bro. Like, okay, remember I asked you last week, I say, Rick, why was, according to what Michael Benson put out, Mike Carpenter, whatever, one of the Michaels, they said that, hey, on the PBC Friday has the $35 million guarantee to pay Canelo, but they do not want to pay him the $35 million for Jamal Charlo, because that's going to be an economic bloodbath for them. They will lose money. So they say they're willing to pay him $35 million to fight a cross-promotional, cross-network fight with Jaime Munguia and over there on DAZN.
Right, but Canelo didn't need Al Haymon or PBC to do that fight. He could have just went across the street. And that's what he did. He just cut Haymon out. Why feed another mouth?
Yeah, I mean, that makes perfect sense. For people who don't understand, there are people in this chat that are saying, we thought that Canelo had a 3-fight deal. He was locked in, meaning contract signed. He can't go anywhere. He can't go anywhere. How was Canelo able to just walk away from Al Haymon's and Floyd Mayweather's PBC like that? You know, how was he able to do that?
Because they didn't have the $35 million to guarantee him to announce a fight. That's what it was. So they wanted to announce the Charlo fight. What happened was he wouldn't allow him to announce any fight until the $35 million was in escrow. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden they said, well, we don't want you to fight Charlo now. We want you to do this, because they tried to change the narrative. The truth of the matter was he was fighting Charlo. Okay, and in the meantime they didn't have the money. That plain and simple. They didn't have the money to put in escrow. They can talk all they want, all that shit.
Stephen Espinosa put out a tweet today on Twitter. It's going pretty viral. He says absolutely nothing to do with escrow, literally zero. He said that narrative is still completely inaccurate and clueless. This is what he's saying, but this is the same guy that said that you were lying about the Showtime shutting down and Showtime will be discontinuing boxing. He said you were lying about that, only to come to find out that what you was telling the truth and he was lying. So what say you about that, Stephen Espinosa?
Well, I recently wrote Stephen Espinosa a letter on his new email address, not the Showtime one, his new email address. And I basically told him, I says, in a nice way, the more you talk, the smarter I look, keep talking. And I basically told him, I'm going to put short pants on you in the middle of the winter and long pants on you in the middle of the summer. I says, you don't fuck with me. You're going to come out on the short end, and you do every time. So it's what it basically amounts to. I wrote him a nice letter. I said it in nice terms. I said it very classy, but that's what I meant. And he just doesn't get it. He didn't understand that I knew what was happening, because I know people that are stockholders. I know people that are executives at Paramount Global. I know people all over the world. It's my business to know people. That's how I make my living. And I knew before he knew. He did not know when I announced it on September 22nd. He did not know they were not renewing staying in boxing. He did not know, and that's the truth. I knew when he didn't. How's that? And he was president of Showtime Sports.
But you know,
So
they say that Rick Glaser is just nobody in the sport of boxing. No one knows what he does. But it's a lot of stuff that you have said that have come true. And I'm trying to figure out, if you're nobody in the sport of boxing, you don't do that in the sport of boxing, and Booger Ray Leonard and Steven Espinosa and all these other guys, the Raphaels and all these other guys are supposed to be so locked in on boxing, how come that you're reporting stuff that they're not reporting, and then it's turned out to be true, but then these guys follow up and regurgitate everything that you said was true, but they don't say, hey, well, Rick Glaser once said it first. Like, I just don't get it. How are you able to know this information, but they don't, and they are perceived to be in the know?
Well, first of all, is I think my track record says nothing but good things, number one. What's this fine gentleman here saying?
No, this fine gentleman is saying, can you please unblock Sad Sack Sal? He does this all the time. Drew, I don't even know why you do that. He said asking for me and Trini Cervantes.
I can't do that, guys. This is not happening. Not this lifetime or the next. He's had enough opportunities, Sad Sack. Let's put it this way to you. The best way I can put it is this. I'm a boxing insider. I get great information every day. Like I said earlier, I talk to 30 to 40 boxing executives and boxing attorneys every day, and those guys don't. I know what's going on. I even know what's going on, like I said, at PBC. They got leaks in the gym over there at the Mayweather gym. They got leaks at PBC. They got leaks all over the place. And I am exploiting those leaks. And those leaks are my links. So I know what's going on all over the place. It's my business to know. That's how I make my living. It's part of what I do.
Well, you got a couple of guys that's on boxing Twitter and on YouTube. You know, we make our living. We make our living, like myself. We make like you make your living knowing boxing, right? You in the boxing business. You know, we make our living selling Nick Sacks of Reggie. So I think our connections in boxing is a little bit more connected than you. Now, we ain't been, we trying, but I just want to throw that out there. You got connections, but I think we have connections on boxing Twitter, and YouTube as well. I think we have some connections as well. What say you about that?
I think you're gaining a lot of traction in the business. You yourself have created a good mainstream of people you're dealing with now and getting into fights just on a basis of who you are now without going through other people. And I respect that. But as far as these other people go, I can't speak for them, but all I do know is that I think my 33 years in professional boxing is my sole livelihood, speaks a lot for myself.
All right, this guy right here on Super Chat, he said, does Rick believe the overall marinating of fights by the PBC was their downfall?
Yeah, that's a big part of it. Overpaying fighters was another part of it. Lying lying to reporters, and reporters putting stuff out there that were lies didn't help. Stuff that didn't come through. The headmaster at PBC, Al Haymon, not talking to the press, not talking to not being accessible, that hurt him. There's so many things that hurt him. You need a yellow legal pad and 2 pens to write everything down. Second pen, just because I think the ink would run out from the first pen of why they're going down and why they're going down every year. Just so many reasons. Bad fights, uncompetitive fights, fights that nobody wanted to see but PBC.
Yeah, they say that Al Haymon is a jinx. Now, I'm going to tell you something, Rick. Some people are going to listen to this show. They're going to be up mad. They're going to say, hey, man, it seems like you're tearing down Al Haymon and, coaches, you tearing down I don't have to tear down Al Haymon. He's torn down himself. He's tore his own credibility down. Right, so I'm just, right now I'm just saying, like, guys are dealing with their feelings. Me, I like to take the feelings out of it. I don't care about how you feel. The reality of the situation is Showtime is done. That's the reality. The reality of the situation is Crawford beat Spence. That's the reality. The reality of the situation is Canelo has left the PBC and now he's going back to the zone. That's the reality. And so there's smoke, there's fire. There's money issues that's going on. Now, what I want to pivot to is this here. All of these guys that are on social media who are pro PBC, love Al Haymon, that's fine. Do you think that they would be enough to sustain the PBC by buying the pay-per-views? Because as pro PBC as a lot of these guys are, there's nothing wrong with that, but it doesn't translate into the buying public with dollars. Do you think that they're going to do astronomical numbers with the support they get on boxing Twitter and YouTube?
No, they're not going to do well on March 30th with Tszyu and Thurman. It's going to lay an egg. And those guys don't buy pay-per-views. They steal it. All those LDBCers, they've admitted it. I've been on chats and stuff, and I've been on podcasts, and they admit stealing the pay-per-view. I don't buy it anyways. I steal it. Mm-hmm. They brag about it. So they're not supporting LDBC. If money-wise, they're only supporting them with bullshit on the internet.
All right, so that's the thing that gets me. Like, when you say it's going to lay an egg, what type of egg? When Keith Thurman, Tim Tszyu, I'm not buying that pay-per-view. I'm just telling you, I'm not buying it. This shit shouldn't be on pay-per-view anyways. And I bought a lot of pay-per-views these past 3 years, but there are some that I didn't buy. Keith Thurman versus Mario Barrios, I didn't buy that fight. What's the heavyweight? The one they say the boogeyman of the heavyweight division, King Kong Ortiz versus Charles Martin. I didn't buy that fight. Tank Davis versus Esau Cruz and Hector Luis Garcia. I didn't buy those fights. So I choose which fights to buy and what not to buy. If you was to do a guesstimation, I don't know if you've done your survey yet, but if you was to do a guesstimation, what would you guess that the Keith Thurman and Tim Tszyu fight would sell pay-per-view in America?
40 to 45,000 buys, maybe 50 if they got lucky.
Is that a success? Does that break pay-per-view records in the top 10?
No. That doesn't. That's a bottom show. That's a bottom show. So that's gonna do pretty bad.
Yeah, but Keith one time Thurman was the hottest fighter in the game, according to PBC, at one point in time, and they have a young star named Roland Romero. Roland Romero is a huge star, according to Booger Ray Leonard and Rolly. So you don't think their star power would be able to foot the bill to make this pay-per-view sell more with the buying public?
No, I don't. I think it's going to lay a big egg.
All right, well, shout out to Melon Hendricks. He say fire the show. Thanks, fam. Shout out to Adams Boxing Show. Hey, okay. Dropping that half a dub. He say salute and shout out to Coach Malachi Rick Glaser. Keep speaking the real and let the haters hate. hey, shout out, salute to the brothers, man. The two twins.
Just to let you know, Haney and Haney versus Prograis did 50,000.
Yeah. I heard, yeah. Well, according to Bill Haney, his son is the face of boxing. When it did 50,000, I haven't got any confirmation from him, but he didn't deny that it did that. So it is what it is. Shout out to Mars dropping that quarter of a dub. He said, "Hey Rick, considering Benavidez has one fight left on his PBC deal, can he explore free agency after the Vogt, I guess the Vozic fight?"
It's two different issues. Can he and will he?
Yeah.
So you're talking about totally two. He can, but will he? That's the other issue. I don't know if he will.
I think, Rick, this is the problem that I have, right? Well, I don't really have a problem with it, but I think some of these guys like David Benavidez and stuff, they want to be loyal to a default to Al Haymon. And I think what it is when it comes to business, it's like, okay, is it loyalty or are you going to do what's best for your pockets? So my thing is, if David Benavidez says, I'm going to be loyal to Al, and I'm going to stay here with him, I'm going to turn down opportunities to fight on other platforms where I can make more money, get bigger fights, then he's making a choice. So I can say, you know what, your business decisions are the reason why you're not getting big fights because of the way you are moving and the way your team is moving. And the reason why I say that is because when Terrence Crawford was with Top Rank, all we heard from the pro PBC guys, he was Top Rank Toby, he was a Bob Arum slave, he's on the wrong side of the street, he need to leave PBC, Top Rank come to the PBC. But I noticed when it's a PBC fighter who can make the big fights, but he's over there with other promotional companies, they don't keep that same energy with those guys. Stephen, do you think that Benavidez is just going to be blindly loyal and not get the big money fights and stuff just to stay loyal to a sinking ship?
I don't know that. That's a hard call. So far, he's proven he tried to jump ship at one time and go with Top Rank. So I don't know. I really can't tell you one way or the other. I don't know. I'm very skeptical about anything he does because I don't really believe in that whole situation there. So we'll see.
What about Sam Solowick saying that, hey, we offered PBC offered Canelo $50 million, $55 million, and then deleted the tweet. What say you about that?
It's all bullshit, all hocus pocus. How could they offer $55 million when they didn't have $35 million to give up? Why would they have to offer $55 million?
What about those who are saying that, hey, you know what? Al Haymon did a smart move. He called Canelo's bluff. He tried to make Canelo fight the Mexican monster, David Benavidez. Canelo was so afraid of David Benavidez that he turned down the $35 million to fight David. And Al Haymon said, we're going to let you walk because you don't want to fight the Mexican monster. And that's what happened. What say you about that?
It was never in. That's not in question. What in question was they didn't have $35 million for fight number 2 in the agreement. If Showtime wasn't involved with the first one, they wouldn't have the $35 million for that fight. So I mean, it's just, they can spin it any way they want. I'm dealing in reality. Mm. And reality is, they're coming up short in every way. PBC. You got fighters leaving left, right, and center. Wilder left. WBC featherweight champ Ray Vargas left. The IBF welterweight champ. Matisse left. Matisse. Elvis Rodriguez left. There's 5 or 6 22, 26, and 30 pounders that left. Other ones that were contenders and prospects. People are leaving the PBC, bro. Left, right, and center. It just started. This mass exodus is just starting. People are starting to realize they're fucking done.
Agent Broner was the first one. Agent Broner was the first. I remember last year. Was it last year? No, it was, I think, a year and a half ago. Agent Broner was on Twitter. Last year. And he said, hey, this was February of last year. He said, hey, man, did you hear about the PBC show about Showtime? And the guy who he was talking to said, no, what happened? He said, man, they say that Showtime shit finna be done. And the guy said, no. He said, yeah, man, we about to be fighting on Twitter. That's what the guy said. We about to be fighting on Twitter. And Agent Broner left, and everybody attacked AB, the pro PBC guys. Oh, AB messed his money up. He just bitter, this and that, yada, 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 yada. Couldn't find out Agent Broner was right.
Right. Well, he's with a multi-millionaire worth, hundreds of millions named Don King. So he don't have to worry about no money.
You want to take some phone calls?
Sure.
All right. Phone lines open, man. 530-494-9636. Anybody want to call the show? Call the show, man. Rick Glaser is on. We don't need any filibustering. I want to allow other people to call the show. You got 2 minutes. Anything past 2 minutes, I'm playing the Jeopardy music. When you hear this, when you hear that means we finna get ready to shut it off for you, okay? So I just want to throw that out there. You know what I mean? So phone lines open 530-494-9636. So damn, Rick, I hate to hear that, man. So what about Floyd Mayweather? I thought Floyd Mayweather was, he's making a whole lot of money and stuff like that. What's going on with Mayweather Promotions? Is he he said him and Al are business partners. The PBC is his company as well as Al Haymon. So what is Floyd Mayweather's plans in order to take the PBC to the next stratosphere? Because Floyd is a big star, global icon, he says. So
seems like they have no plan. I mean, they're planned out.
You don't think they have a plan?
That doesn't seem to be. Does it to you?
Well, I think, I know he's some kind of mastermind. I think Floyd is a mastermind. I think he's going to figure something out. Remember, he made smart investments. He made a lot of smart investments. I think he made more smart investments than you, Rick. He has skyscrapers in Dubai and in New York, and he makes $300 million a year. Do you make $300 million a year, Rick?
No, he said $300 million a month.
Yeah, well, $300 million a month. You're right. Okay, that's even worse. Do you make $300 million a month, Rick?
Nope.
Well, I think Floyd is smarter than you then. Hey, caller, what's the name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Coach. This is the boxing scientist from L.A. How's it going?
Going good, fam. Boxing scientist from L.A. Talk to me.
Yeah. So I had Rick on my panel last night for a little bit, but I didn't get a chance to ask you, Rick, because I know you say both guys, meaning Canelo and Benavidez, don't really want to fight each other. But to me, if anyone's ducking, I don't like to use the word duck, but if anyone's ducking, it would seem like Benavidez is the one ducking because his father, Jose Sr., has recently said that they were offered $5 million. He said this on Twitter. They were offered $5 million by Canelo, and they turned it down. I know they probably deserve more than that. It's kind of a lowball offer. I get it. But he has also said they don't care about the money. They want the legacy. They want those belts. And they've changed their tune since then. So what's your opinion about that?
Neither want to fight. I've said it. I say it again. Neither want to fight. I think it's a lot of hocus pocus malocus, and they're both full of shit. You know, so I think it's all phony on Benavidez's part that they actually want to fight when they don't. Okay,
right, and then also his manager Samson recently said in an interview in Spanish that he has not asked Mauricio Suleiman to make it mandatory. He says he doesn't want to ask him to do that, even though that's his friend and they go way back. He doesn't want to ask him to do that. So it's like, why wouldn't you, right? To me, from the outside looking in, it looks like they never really wanted that fight.
They don't want to fight. You're onto it. There's no even for further discussion. You got it nailed, bro.
All right, shout out to the boxing scientists, LA.
Thank you.
Hold on, Rick, we got a super chat. Shout out to Andre Rodriguez. He say, showing my appreciation to you, Coach, and Mr. Glaser for the honest and complete interview. He say nothing beats the addressing of pertinent issues in boxing, like the way that your gentlemen are doing. He say good stuff. Salute from Portugal. Shout out to everybody in Portugal, man. Let's give Portugal a round of applause. Portugal. Salute to you, man. We got another call, Rick. The phone lines is hot. Call what's your name? What you call him?
Ernest from Houston. How you doing, Coach?
Ernest from Houston. Talk to me, fam.
Hey, how y'all, man? I appreciate y'all bringing all this great info, man, because we was in the dark. We didn't know. But I appreciate you, Rick. Rick, I had a question. Be honest with me. You think we as fans, if we don't like the fights that we see, should we just not buy the pay-per-views and maybe they'll give us the fights we want? I'm gonna hang up and let you answer, sir. Thank you.
I think that's a good start. I think that's a good start. If everybody boycotts a pay-per-view, they'll start getting the message. If that's what you mean, yes, absolutely.
That's what he said. Shout out to Ernest from Houston. Let's give him a round of applause. Yeah, man. Yeah, Rick, so Rick, this is the thing, like putting everything on pay-per-view, making non-pay-per-view fights, taking non-pay-per-view fights and putting them on pay-per-view. Carla, hold on. That has to be a recipe for disaster. Would you say that?
100%. That's good. That's what the problem is. It's been the problem. That's why the money's dwindled down to nothing. That's why Showtime left the boxing business, because they couldn't make any money.
Yeah, it makes sense. Carla, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Coach, it's Damian again, calling from Jersey.
Damian from Jersey, talk to me.
Yeah, how you doing, Coach? Hey, Rick, you got a question. So, I know when you said Canelo and Benavidez is blowing smoke. They don't want to fight each other.
Right.
With Benavidez having one fight left on his contract, wouldn't it make sense if he really does want to fight Canelo to go over to the DAZN matchroom and fight Canelo since he's already going over that avenue anyway?
Yeah, that may happen, but it's not happening now. So right now it's phony. That's what I'm saying to you. I'm not saying that's not going to happen eventually down the road. That we don't know, but it's not happening right now. That's for sure.
Okay, I appreciate you, Coach. I appreciate you, Rick. Thank you.
All right, shout out to Damian. Brick City, stand up. Brick City, stand up. Hey, see, that's the thing, Rick. See, what I want to see is this here. Again, I'm not fans of promotional companies or networks. I just want to see the fight. If the DAZN is putting on good fights, that's all I care about. ESPN or Showtime when they was around. That's all I care about. I have no emotional attachment to these promotional companies. Cause see, unlike you make money in the business of boxing. Carla, hold on. You actually make money in the business of boxing. You know, I don't. You know, so I'm just a podcaster. But I just want to see a lot more of these fighters. If you're gonna say, hey, everybody gotta leave their situation and come over here to the PBC if you want to fight the fighters, because we have the fighters. Okay, now that tide is changing. The fighters that you're gonna want to fight are gonna be on other networks. Those PBC fighters, and a lot of them have already left or have gone, but like some of the big names, they're gonna have to do the same thing if they want to get paid or get the fights. What say you about that?
Oh, well, they're going to retire because a lot of them are older. Danny Garcia is older. Lara is older. A lot of these guys are older, so they could just retire too. You know, you got to see. PBC doesn't have a lot of stars. They really, except for Tank and Tank, they don't have any pay-per-view stars. So I mean, they got problems.
They got Rolly. Rolly's a star.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Y'all being facetious. Carla, what's your name when you call him?
Jamie from New York.
Jamie from New York. Talk to me, Phil.
Hey, salute, guys. Hey, Rick, I got a question for you. We all know that Floyd Mayweather is super wealthy. So my question to you is, why is he scared to invest his own, to invest and promote his own fight?
Easy answer. He's already put up money and it's with PBC and it's gonzo. So that's what's happened.
Okay.
Okay.
So, another thing. Yeah. But, I'm glad the PBC brand is going down the toilet, to be honest with you. I mean, they did this to themselves. Right. You know, they chose not to, they didn't want to cross promote and everything was in-house fights and pay-per-view also, right. Which is, that's a disaster. Really, that's bad for business.
Real quick, sum it up. Everything they did was anti-boxing. You have a great day. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, shout out to Jamie, man.
Yes, and they were all right.
Shout out to Jamie, man. Hold on, Rick. We got another super chat. Shout out to Sequoia. Oh, okay. Dropping that $5 on your boy. He say peace. He say peace, fam. Why couldn't we get Canelo versus Munguia at a stadium in Mexico? The atmosphere would have been electric. Is it a money issue? He's asking.
Yeah, you can't bring enough dollars in at those stadiums compared to what they can in Vegas. You can get like $5,000 for ringside seats in Vegas. What are you going to get? $500 there? What are you going to get in Vegas? You can get the cheapest seats. You can get $250, $300. What are you going to get there? $5, $10?
Hold on.
That's the reason why.
Oh, okay. I see what you said. In Vegas, so this is why a lot of big fights happen in Vegas, because you get a chance to maximize the dollar.
Right.
So to speak.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, Coach? What's up, Rick? It's inevitable. It's D-Block, D-Town, D.C., D-Ville, Baltimore.
We know who we are. What's going on?
Ricky, goddamn, Rick, I'm so excited, man. You are the truth. You are the man. You had a plan. And about Al Haymon, he's going in the can. I'm telling you, Rick, I'm so happy right now. As a Canelo fan, as even a Terrence Buck Crawford fan, I'm so glad, Rick, that you are vindicated. You always, did all that bad shit, talking shit they were talking about you, Rick. I can't believe it. Even Coach, they were talking shit about Coach. But I'm telling you right now, vindication is great. If it was a movie, if it was scripted, it'd be like Rudy. Remember Rudy from Notre Dame, Rick?
Yep. Yes, I do. Let me just say something to you. I really appreciate you saying this to me. It means a lot because I've had so many haters out there and stuff like that. I never doubt my self-worth to society, but they sometimes try to make you feel like a fucking scrotum, and I'm not a scrotum. So there you go. So I really appreciate you coming on and saying that today. Thank you for coming on. Okay,
Rick, I got one more thing to say, and that's it. I'm gonna let it go like that. I'm gonna tell you something, man. If they ever doubt you again, stick that middle finger and say, "Kiss my ass twice." D-Block, D-Town, D.C., D-Ville, Baltimore.
Hey, Rick, sound like you got a fan, Rick. Look like you need to start a Rick Glaser fan club. D-Block, D-Block sing
I'd have 4 members. That guy, my wife, you, and Boback.
Hey, all of us are hated. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? Hold on.
Gomez from Town.
Gomez Mason, talk to me.
Great show today, Coach. Hey, Rick, my question is, you know how David's been saying, Benavidez been saying that they're comfortable there. You think Al Haymon is playing these fools? Just sweet talking them in the ear so they can stay. Maybe if you get something going in the back end.
You're asking me something I don't know about, so it's hard for me to say. But I don't doubt that. But I don't have any proof one way or the other. I've never looked into it. Let's put it that way to you.
Okay. No, that was it. And then I think you know what's going on. He's trying to do that woke bullshit, Al Haymon, and he's going broke just like Disney, man. So that's what I think is going on.
All right, shout out to Gomez A-Town. Salute. Yeah, I'm anxious. Rick, explain this to me. The PBC has been with several networks, ABC, CBS, Fox.
11 of them.
Why? Okay, they're with. So is Amazon the 12th network, or is it 11?
Yes,
it's the 12th
network. Well, this is the first exclusive streaming company, yes, but the 12th media outlet.
Hold
yes.
on. So why won't Jeff Bezos or whoever the top brass over there at Amazon, why they won't back the PBC financially the way other networks have?
They don't have to. They realize that PBC is a desperate organization and floundering, and they're not going to give it a life raft. They don't need to do business with them. There's your answer right there.
Why they won't create an app? Like PBC can create their own network or whatever, right? They got enough Floyd Mayweather money. They create an app or create their own network.
Why don't they? Then why don't they?
Yeah. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Teddy from Miami-Dade, Florida.
Teddy from Miami-Dade. Talk to me.
I just have two questions. Who will be able to get this Canelo and David fight done, since it seems like PBC is outside of the window? And if PBC is going down, how is that good for boxing?
The first answer is I don't think we're going to get a David Benavidez Canelo fight. The second answer is it's not good for boxing. But the PBC has screwed up boxing so badly, the marketplace in boxing, and putting everything on pay-per-view, it's not something boxing needs anymore. They've obsoleted themselves. So it's not good for them to go down on one hand, but yes, it's good for them to go down because it's created a bad aura of bad fights, everything on pay-per-view, and overpaying fighters and screwing up the business. So they need to go away.
All right, shout out to Teddy from Miami. Salute for him. Yeah, Rick, man. I mean, it's kind of hard for me that when you say go away. So what? This is difficult. Like, how is this going to play out? Like, are they looking for other investors? Would they be willing to partner up with DAZN now?
They've been looking for other investors. DAZN turned them down. Nobody wants them. They're like a big fucking black cloud. That's what they are. They're a big black cloud.
You mean like Slet Rock? Remember Slet Rock on the Flintstones? Everywhere he went, he had the black cloud following over him. Just
exactly.
Yeah, bad luck. Yeah, that's
exactly.
Is that it? Hold on, caller, hold on. Is that it? Because because they went through so many networks? Is that
everything? And everybody else's money, $900 million. All those networks, they've just created a bad. It's a toxic brand.
So this is $1 million question. Okay, I remember the Waddell Reed money when they first started in 2015, right? They blew through that. $900 million. Do all of these, are other companies sitting back watching? Let's say Floyd Mayweather or Al Haymon go, hey, look, I'm trying to find a new deal with another network. Do these companies sit back now and say, hey, listen, these guys have a bad track record. They done went through 10 or 11 different networks.
Put it this way to you.
Do they talk to each other?
Networks and also investors are saying, hey, they went through 11 TV networks. They blew $900 million. They look like the gang that couldn't shoot straight. I mean, you're supposed to make a profit after a first couple of years. You're supposed to lose the first couple of years and then make a profit. I get it. Here we are, 9 years into the game. They're $900 million down, and they've gone through 11 networks. They're on their 12th now.
Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Coach, this is Mizzy Mike calling from an undisclosed location, which they looking to. But Mr. Glaser, I got a quick question for you. How long do you think, in your opinion, expert opinion, will the PBC last as far as Al Haymon being the owner? I said that respect. That's my question. Thank you.
If they get through the end of the year, they'll be lucky. I don't think they'll be putting out a schedule for 2025. They may get through the end of this year. I don't know that. It may be sooner than that. But I think between now and December 31st, they're gonzo. You know.
Thank you.
All right, shout out to Mizzy Mike, man. That's it. All right, Rick. So I don't know. Listen, I don't know how hard it is, because I know it's you're trying to predict these things, because you just never know. Maybe they'll find another infusion of cash. Maybe there'll be maybe Warren Buffett or someone will come along and give them some money. I don't know. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Martin from Oakland.
Martin from Oakland, 2 times. Talk to me.
Yeah, my question for Rick is, the PBC recently announced the upcoming fight for Tank Davis and Frank Martin. Any idea why they didn't announce a date or a venue? Does this have anything to do with the whole Canelo thing, or
no,
they just don't know what the hell they got with Tank?
They don't have any money. So they're being very careful in what they do and when they announce it, and they're looking at dates to see what goes on those dates, so they don't have any interference and something that's going to take away from the pay-per-view. And they're looking for the right site, so they don't have to pay any money out for hotels and a site and everything, where they can go maybe to a venue in Vegas at the MGM or at the T-Mobile, something like that. There's a lot of reasons why they're doing it. They're being very, very careful.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Rick.
All right, shout out to Mark from Oakland. Hey, shout out to Knockdown 305 in the chat. He said, when your face is dirty, nobody's gonna fuck with you. And I do remember in the streets, right? If your face isn't clean, we call it if your face ain't, my face dirty out here on these streets, if my face ain't clean, that means that you have a bad reputation. You owe so many people money that no one is going to want to deal with you, because it's like having bad credit. You go in the bank. Right. Hold on. Right. You go in the bank and you trying to get a loan from the bank. They pull your credit score. Man, look here, man. You got a 300 credit score. How much money you trying to get again? Yeah, man. I need about 50 mil, 100 mil, bro. You got a 300 credit score, bro. Like you got to build your credit back up, get your reputation back on point, so you can be deemed as trustworthy again. If that's what's going on right now,
I don't know. I don't know that to be exact, but they're not going to be able to raise any money. They owe $900 million. They lost 11 networks. You can't get around those two facts, Coach. No matter how you dress it, you can't get around those two facts.
That's
true. I mean, they've been in business 9 years total, and they've lost 11 networks. That's over one network a year. So I mean, that's not a good sign. And they went through 900 million, which is 100 million a year. So it's none of it's a good sign.
Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is G-Funk. What's going on, Coach? What's up, Rick?
Hey, G-Funk, you sound very kind of windy in the background, but I got you. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, man. I'm on the road, and I was listening in, and I just wanted to call in and say real quick that, look, Rick is a guy very well connected in the game, man. And for all you fans out there that were doubting him when he said what he said, the guy knows too many people in this business to not be taken seriously when he says something, man. And I know this from first-hand experience with Rick, and he does great business, man. He's a great guy, and, yeah, you guys really started paying attention to what Rick says when he says it.
Thank you, G-Funk.
All right, shout out to G-Funk, man. Salute for him. Sacktown, stand up, man. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Rick, because again, as I said before, on Boston Twitter, a lot of these guys, these insiders, they say, hey, Rick Glaser don't know anything. A lot of YouTube channels say the same thing as well. You don't know nothing, this and that. But they talk as though they know. And, but again, No one can refute this right here. What's actually happened. Now, the question I have is hold on. Is Canelo leaving the PBC for DAZN? Is that a good thing? When Terrence Crawford is going now as well, he's free. Is that a good thing for the PBC? Like, will that be able to free up some money for them now? Okay, we don't have to pay those two guys a lot of money.
There's no money to free up. They didn't have any money to pay the guys. What money is there to free up?
So who was the third party that was willing to put the money up? Are you able to disclose that?
They said there was a third party. They claimed there was. Obviously, there was none, and they would have come up with it.
It's a third. Hold on. It's a third party now. We got Poach Willie over here. Poach Willie say he gonna loan us the money to pay Canelo, but hog head cheese over there hating.
True.
Hey, so don't nobody know who the third party was that was gonna put the 35 mil up for Canelo.
No, I had a feeling that if he fought Munguia, that maybe Oscar would have put up the money. Maybe Oscar was going to put up the money, and the company would get co-promotional billing. They'd use their fighter and everything. So I thought maybe that was a possibility, but it turned out that that was just an intuition that I thought, because Oscar's got huge money. So I thought maybe he was putting up a guarantee of the $35 million, and it turned out that they didn't have anybody putting up the $35 million. So there you go.
Wow. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, Coach? What's up, Rick? It's JBN from Fort Worth, Texas.
JBN, you got 2 minutes. Talk to me.
Oh, no. It's an Errolsexual.
All right, man.
No, this is not him. I don't think this is Errolsexual.
No, I fucking hate Errol. I hate that motherfucker to death. I'm glad he got the shit beaten out of him. But anyways, Rick, yo, man, I'm glad that you got vindicated, Rick. I'm glad that you were right. I actually didn't doubt you, because you did say back in September that Showtime was leaving, and you were right about that. But I'm glad that you were right, because that means the PBC is dying, and Al Haymon is about to get out of boxing, because I'm truthfully believable that they are the main reason why the sport has gone downhill so much. What's your opinion on that?
Absolutely, 100%. I appreciate you thinking. I'm sorry to insult you and call you an Errolsexual. I take that back. I hear Fort Worth or Dallas, and I think Errolsexual. It's a bad thing.
Hey man, I be hiding from these Errolsexuals all the time, because they really are fruity as fuck. They also like Ken Davis and David Benavidez a lot. Like, I think they got something for those guys. Another question that I wanted to ask you: David Benavidez has been ducking and cherry picking and ducking the 175-pound weight division his whole career. So I really doubt that he's going to fight a guy like Bozic. What do you know about that fight? Do you think that fight is going to go down?
Yeah, Bozic's on the back nine. He was out of action since 2019 to early in 2023. He had a couple fights last year, I think 3 fights, and he's on the back nine. So I could see him fighting him. Yes, I could see that. No question about that.
All right, shout out to JBN, man. Salute, fam. Hey, Rick. As
soon as I hear Dallas or any of that area, Fort Worth, I think of Errolsexuals.
No, the Errolsexuals have disappeared. Like, they have disappeared, and then now they were starting to come back a little bit, but now with this news with Canelo leaving the PBC and Crawford being free, they're going back into hiding again. So you probably ain't gonna hear from them for a little bit. Rick, so who is putting the money up for the Tim Tszyu and Thurman fight?
We don't know. I know that the company called No Limit, which is the Australian promotional company for
hold on.
They're probably protecting their own fighter, but I don't know who's putting up the money for the promotion. Listen, that's not an expensive show to promote. That's a $3-4 million show. Maybe $5 million show. So they may have that kind of money left, but they don't have any money to do any real big shows. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I got you.
So in that world, you got to remember, in that world, $4 or $5 million is nothing to have for a promotional company. Top Rank, look what they're worth. I mean, they're the Golden Boy, Eddie Hearn. I mean, they're financial juggernauts.
They got CEOs and CFOs and COOs and CEOs and CSOs and they're in business. You know what I'm saying? So 4 or 5 million of those companies is nothing. So they may have the money to finance that show.
Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Coach, it's Jerry from Baltimore.
Jerry from Baltimore, talk to me.
Okay, so quickly, is it official? Canelo has left the PBC. Is that official?
Yep.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, that may explain why there's been no real negotiations to fight David Benavidez. I don't know what people want from this guy. The super middleweight division really not that stacked. He's fought the better guys that are there, and he even took care of Andrade. Yeah, he's big at 168, but his last several fights, his last 3 fights, he came in like a pound and a half under. He seems to have gotten on top of that weight management. And, of course, he wants to fight Canelo. Why wouldn't he want to fight Canelo? Of course he would. That's the biggest payday he's ever going to see. Can he fight at 175? In my opinion, absolutely. And he competes well with anybody up there in my eyes because he is a beast. But I can't blame that kid for trying to get the Canelo fight over the last 2 or 3 years. Why wouldn't he? I'm a Canelo fan, but Canelo is not. He doesn't want to fight him. It's very clear. The risk doesn't meet the reward. That guy is a beast, Benavidez. He's a true beast, and I wish him luck, whatever happens. And I wish Canelo luck, too. I don't know, what might go down with him because he's running out of options himself, even though he's the cash cow,
Right. Listen, Coach.
Yes, sir.
It's 5 after 5. I've already saved my welcome.
I got you.
Okay. You want me out later in the week? I'll be available on Thursday or Friday.
Okay, I got you. Hey, shout out to Rick Glaser, man. Take it easy, Rick.
Man, I'm out of here, bro. Let's go.